Welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okoro. At least 5 people were killed on Monday by a car suicide bomb at a checkpoint on the outskirts of Damaturu, capital of Yobe State in northeast Nigeria. The bombing also left many people injured. Spokesman for the police in Yobe State, Toyin Gbadegesin, confirmed the incident which occurred on Monday. The injured persons have since been taken to the Damaturu Specialist Hospital for treatment. The blast comes days after 2 bombs killed 15 people at the Eid prayer ground, still in Damaturu. The recent attacks, which have been blamed on Islamic sect Boko Haram, has led to the killing of more than 700 people in less than 4 weeks. Nigeria President Muhammadu Buhari has met with U.S. President Barack Obama in a meeting many have called historic. The president, who arrived at the joint-based Andrews Airport, Washington, was received by the Assistant Secretary for State for Africa, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, and James N. Whistle, who is the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria. Both leaders discussed the menace of Boko Haram and how to tackle insurgency. Talks on trade and economic relations, anti-corruption, also dominated the meeting. President Buhari was accompanied on the 4-day visit by a 33-man delegation, which includes governors of Borno, Nasarawa, Imo, Oyo, and Edo states. The visit has been seen as a seal of U.S. improving ties with Nigeria since Buhari won the April presidential election, which held this year. Still on President Buhari's trip to the U.S., the U.S. government says it will offer Nigeria help in tackling billions of dollars in stolen funds and assets. In a statement issued by the White House, the U.S. said this is part of what is expected to feature during the discussion between Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari and U.S. President Barack Obama in Washington, D.C. This comes as Washington seeks to reset ties with Africa's biggest economy. The government also said that the United States military will offer assistance to Nigeria in the fight against Islamic insurgents Boko Haram. The new Chief of Army Staff Major General Turko Buratai has warned troops against acts of indiscipline and cowardice in the ongoing campaign against the Boko Haram insurgents in the northeast of Nigeria. The Army Chief said this during a visit to troops of 103 Battalion Nigerian Army, Konduga, Borno State on Sunday. A statement on Monday by the Acting Director, Army Public Relations, Colonel Sani Usman, said Buratai also urged the commanders to ensure a prompt and timely response to distress calls from communities in the besieged areas. Buratai also used the opportunity of his visit to assure the troops of the federal government's commitment to the fight against the insurgency, while commending them for their resilience and bravery. Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose has slammed Nigeria's former president Olusegun Obasanjo, telling him to stop attacking the immediate president, Goodluck Jonathan. In a statement issued on Monday in Ado-Ekiti by his spokesman, Lere Olayinka, the governor urged Obasanjo to quit mudslinging Jonathan, as he was no longer the president of Nigeria and should be allowed to live a private life. Just last week, while speaking at the 11th convocation lecture at the Benson Idahosa University in Benin City, former Nigerian President Obasanjo had said the performance of Jonathan while in office will haunt the people of the South-South region for a long time. Jonathan hails from Bayelsa State, which is in the South-South region of Nigeria. Fayose, however, defended Jonathan's administration in office, saying it had been widely acknowledged both locally and internationally. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll look at more news stories. Don't go anywhere.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on TV360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Welcome back. You're watching News Now. To business stories right now. The Nigerian government has banned 113 crude oil vessels from doing business in any of the 27 oil terminals within the length and breadth of the Nigerian territorial waters. A letter circulated by Nigeria's state oil company, NNPC, said the directive was given by President Muhammadu Buhari. The ban followed a directive contained in a memo dated July 15, 2015 by the Group General Manager, Crude Oil Marketing Division, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Benga Komolafe, to all terminal operators. The vessels, which include mainly VLCC crude oil tankers, are banned from calling at Nigerian crude oil terminals and also from Nigerian waters with immediate effect, the letter states, pending a notice to the contrary by the government. No reason was stated in the memo why the ban was imposed on the affected vessels, but it's been widely reported the ban is an effort to crack down on illegal crude oil trading in the region. Oil dropped on Monday as signs of a growing glut in refined products outweighed a fall in Saudi crude oil exports and slower U.S. rig activity. Crude prices have fallen for 3 weeks in a row on expectations of increased oil sales from Iran following a deal to ease sanctions against the OPEC producer. Brent crude for September was down 45 cents at $56.65 a barrel. The benchmark fell nearly 3% last week and is down more than 10% so far this month. The dollar strengthening added further pressure as it makes dollar-priced commodities more expensive for investors using other currencies. To international news now, a suspected suicide attack has killed at least 28 people and wounded nearly 100 others in the Turkish town of Surok near the Syrian border. The country's interior minister confirmed the incident which occurred on Monday. Hundreds of young people were staying there to assist in rebuilding work in the nearby Syrian town of Kobane. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan had condemned the bombing. Turkish officials have said initial evidence indicates it was a suicide attack carried out by Islamic State militants. The United Nations Security Council on Monday endorsed a deal to curb Iran's nuclear program in return for sanctions relief, but it will be able to reimpose UN penalties during the next decade if Tehran breaches the historic agreement. The 15-member body unanimously adopted a resolution that was negotiated as part of an agreement reached in Vienna last week between Iran and major world powers. In return for lifting US, EU and UN sanctions, Iran will be subjected to long-term curbs on a nuclear program that the West suspected was aimed at creating an atomic bomb. But Tehran has always maintained that it is peaceful. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Samantha Power said the deal would make the world safer and more secure. To sports stories now, Nigerian Premier League defending champions Kano Pillars has sacked its coach Oke Emodi following a string of poor results. The team failed to go past the first round of this year's CAF Champions League before they were kicked out of the Nigerian Federation Cup by lower league side Plateau United. The poor performance led to the sacking of the coach and his board by the Kano State Governor, Abdullahi Ganduje. Emodi was appointed Kano Pillars boss in January 2014, replacing former coach Baba Ganaru. To international sports now, World Football Governing Body FIFA has selected February 26 as the next date for its presidential elections. The extraordinary FIFA committee met on Monday to decide a date for an election to replace President Sepp Blatter and reform steps as the organization faces its biggest corruption crisis. The extraordinary FIFA Executive Committee met on Monday to decide a date for an election to replace Blatter, as candidates for the position will have to be nominated before October 26. Meanwhile, FIFA is to set up a task force of 11 people as part of efforts to reform the scandal-hit world governing body, FIFA. Well, FIFA may have selected a date to hold its presidential elections. However, the candidates that will run for the position are still under speculation. A major contender whose candidacy is being wrapped in secrecy is Michel Platini. European football governing body UEFA has denied talks that its president Michel Platini is set to run for the FIFA presidency. The 60-year-old is widely expected to challenge Sepp Blatter for the role of FIFA president, but his organization insists that nothing has been decided regarding whether President Michel Platini will stand for the post or not. Platini has been asked by a majority of world football chiefs to stand for the post. Meanwhile, media reports suggest that Platini has the support of Europe, Asia, South America, plus North and Central America and the Caribbean. It, however, says nothing of Africa. We've come to the end of news now. We thank you very much for watching. I am Thelma Okoro.